Since the dawn of humanity, there has been a few questions that have left us debating on which is the right answer. Michael Jordan or LeBron? Yanni or Laurel? Was the dress blue and black, or was it white and gold? But arguably the most important one that has left scientists debating for centuries, had them fighting tooth and nail at each other, is of course Butcher versus Nun. These two are the mascots of puppet combo games and easily the most popular to come from the studio, so I thought it was only fair to compare the two to see which one is stronger and worthy of being the face of our favorite indie horror game studio. Strap in as we look through multiple ways in which each killer might outshine the other. And remember, regardless of who wins this battle, your chances of surviving are close to none. Get it? Cause like, none, but I was talking, no? Alright, bet. Okay, my bad, onto the video. First off, we'll be looking into the backstory of each killer in their respective games to get a better understanding of how they came to be. It is widely accepted that the nun we see in Nun Massacre is a combination of Mother Apollonia and as well as the guilt of Miss McDonald, the main protagonist that we play in Nun Massacre. To sum up the story if you're unfamiliar with it, Miss McDonald receives a letter in the mail stating that her daughter is sick, and so she goes on a travel to go and pick up her daughter. Upon arriving at the school, she discovers that it is completely abandoned, only inhabiting a scary paranormal nun that roams the halls and is hell-bent on finding her and attacking her. We can assume through notes that we find throughout the game that Mother Apollonia was the one actually responsible for torturing and abusing Jane in the Catholic boarding school. This over time eventually led to Jane offing herself, which makes Miss McDonald feel guilt because she was the one who sent her there in the first place. Whether real or not, the nun seems to be a manifestation of all the abuse and torture that Jane had to go through during her stay at the school. Not much is known about the Night Shift Abductor other than the fact that he is a large man who wears seasonal clothing, a burlap mask, and a blood-covered apron. Based on in-game notes and just the general environment in which the game takes place in, it has been concluded that the farmhouse that we play in Stay Out of the House is located somewhere in the countryside of Cedarville, Oklahoma. At some point during his life, he came into contact with the CFV, a religious cult seen in multiple puppet combo games, and descended into a dark path of kidnapping and murdering innocent victims presumed to be for his sacrifices. As mentioned before, not much is actually known about who lies underneath the mask, which was probably left vague by the developer. Okay, so onto abilities and powers. Both characters seem to possess some levels of supernatural powers to varying degrees. Although both are similar in that sense, they still have unique skill sets that set each other apart. To start with the nun, she is observed to have supernatural speed as well as having the ability to teleport around the school. She possesses a high level of strength, killing the player very quickly with her knife as she chases them with overbearing loud noises. Her presence alone causes static to appear in the player's vision, also implying her supernatural and paranormal nature. The Butcher too shares these abilities, but seems to have other methods and tactics that he uses to help capture and contain his victims. I'd like to start by first reading the wiki for the Butcher, which perfectly describes his supernatural powers. Although the details are extremely muddy, the Butcher appears to have formed a sort of mental symbiosis, granting the latter superhuman abilities to complete his tasks more effectively in exchange for the Butcher's undying loyalty, the most prominent being some form of telepathy that allows him to observe his targets and captives, as well as their thoughts, if focus, which might explain how he's able to keep track of potential escapees in his house. Other alterations, if certain gameplay mechanics are taken into account, possibly include increased strength, heightened ability, a regenerative healing factor, and limited teleportation. It should also be noted that the Butcher also uses various methods to attack and incapacitate his victims, including but not limited to the use of cameras to monitor his victims and bear traps. Despite the player being able to stab and shoot the Butcher with a gun, he is only temporarily injured and returns back into the house as if nothing ever happened, which is a testament to his healing abilities and showing off his immense strength. Okay, onto scare factor. The nun has a very simple but effective look that is enough to strike fear into the hearts of many. She is very tall, rocking a traditional Catholic nun outfit consisting of a black veil draped over a white coif and a black tunic. She has a child/doll-like face, and her eye sockets are completely black, which bleed down the side of her face. Her weapon of choice is a kitchen knife. The butcher is also freakishly tall, standing at approximately 6'4" to 6'8" and weighing in at about 250 pounds. The wiki describes the butcher's appearance as: the butcher wears a red-black patterned plaid shirt, light blue jeans, gray gloves, and brown Oxford shoes. Over the outfit, he wears a black heavy rubber apron splattered in blood, a burlap sack haphazardly fashioned into a mask with eye holes and affixed to his head with a rope. He is most commonly seen carrying a sledgehammer in his right hand to knock victims unconscious. His weapon of choice is a sledgehammer, but he is seen throughout the game using a meat cleaver to cut up his victims, as well as a chainsaw towards the end of the game, which he uses to chase you. Personally, it's hard to say which is the better character in terms of strength and scariness. Both are able to make the player shit themselves and make you want to close the game and never revisit it ever again. At first I was leaning more towards the butcher, as his general abilities and the location where the game takes place in is a little bit more scary for me, but to be honest, it's a very close one. The nun's appearance is so simple, yet so effective and gets the job done. Both have supernatural abilities, so it's hard to say which one is stronger than the other, and both two are the faces of puppy combo, as Nun Massacre and Stay Out of the House are arguably the most popular puppy combo games. If I had to choose one, I'd probably choose the Butcher or the Night Shift Abductor, as he personally had me way more scared during my playthrough of Stay Out of the House. But then again, that's just me. I would love to know what you guys think about this, so please comment below what your opinion on who's the better overall killer. Thanks for watching. Peace.